Welcome back for the third and final lesson on quotes. You should have watched a video already explaining how to quote at the beginning of a sentence and then quote at the end of a sentence. If you haven't, go ahead onto my YouTube channel, Jacqueline Padel, and watch the video about adding a quote at the beginning, and then there's a separate one on adding quotes at the end. So today we're going to be learning about split quotes, okay? And split quotes are when you have two thoughts separated by a conjunction. So for example, we have, "I lost my mask," said Emma, "so I bought a new one." This first example right here has two thoughts separated by a conjunction. Just to remind you, a conjunction is fanboys. That's how we remember them. So there's for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So there are 7 conjunctions that you should know. And fanboys should help you remember these. So now my first example of a split quote. "I lost my mask," said Emma, "so I bought a new one." There is a conjunction in this sentence, and it is so. So I'm going to highlight that just so you can tell where it's located in my sentence. So my conjunction again separates my two thoughts. So that means before my conjunction is one thought, "I lost my mask." And then my second thought will be after my conjunction, "I bought a new one." Okay? So now that we know where my first thought is, and then my conjunction separates my first thought and my second thought, and then my second thought's at the end, okay? Recognize that the person will always be before that conjunction. So said Emma or said whomever will be before that conjunction. And then, so we'll start off with, like we usually do when we quote spoken word in the beginning of sentences, we'll do that quotation mark again, and it will wrap around my first word, my first spoken word. Notice that this word is capitalized too. My I is capitalized. Then after my first spoken word, my first spoken sentence or thought, I'm going to put a comma, okay? Because my sentence is going to continue on, right? So I don't want to put a period because my thought is not done. So I'm going to put a comma and then quotation mark. Notice that it goes comma, quotation mark. There are no spaces in between these. The quotation mark hugs the comma. The comma also sits right next to that last letter. There's no spaces. There is a space, however, after that quotation mark. So quotation mark, space, and then said Emma. After the name or after Emma, then you put a comma. Just like you usually put commas before conjunctions anyways when you are fixing a run-on sentence. When you fix a run-on sentence, it goes comma, conjunction. So just like here, it's comma, space, conjunction. Then, after comma, space, you want to quote that second thought along with the conjunction. So, quotation marks, and then it hugs that S. Notice that my S is not going to be capitalized. My conjunction will never be capitalized because when you, again, fix run-on sentences and you add a comma in conjunction, you never capitalize that conjunction in the middle of the sentence. That would be silly. So, you keep this conjunction uncapitalized. So, quote, right away your conjunction uncapitalized, and then your second thought, "I bought a new one." And now that our sentence is done, you can put a period and end quotation marks, okay? Notice there's no space in between there either. Okay, next example. We're going to look for the conjunction again. You can color, said Albert, or you can paint. My conjunction is or, so I'm going to highlight that again. Then I'm going to look for my first thought, which will be before my conjunction. You can color. And then my second thought will be after the conjunction. You can paint. Okay? And then notice again, said Albert or said whomever is before that conjunction. We're going to put a quotation mark around my first thought. Notice that my you in you is capitalized because it's my first spoken word. You can color at the end of my first thought. My orange stops right here. It's going to go comma, quotation marks, then space, said Albert. Remember, comma conjunction, we need a comma after Albert, space, quotation marks around my conjunction. Notice my conjunction, it won't be capitalized. I'm going to go all the way to the end of my last thought and put a period and a quotation mark. Now it is your turn. Carly likes to sing, said Tom, and she likes to dance. Go ahead and highlight the conjunction, highlight the first thought, and then the second thought, and add your quotation marks, commas, and periods. Pause the video and resume when you are done. Welcome back. You should have highlighted and as your conjunction. Carly likes to sing should have been your first thought. And then she likes to dance should have been your second thought. In your first thought, you should have capitalized that first letter in that first spoken word, and then quotation marks hugging that first word. After that first thought, you should have a comma at the end of that color and first thought, and then quotation marks hugging that comma. After that quotation mark, you should have space, said Tom. After Tom, you have comma, space, quotation marks hugging the conjunction. Remember, the conjunction stays lowercase. And then at the end of that second thought, period, quotation marks. If you got that right, give yourself a high five. Awesome job. You now know how to create a split quote. Go ahead and work on your homework and turn in it when you're done.